Now let me have your attention. I don't want to have to repeat myself once. I don't want to have to come back here and have to re-emphasize my point. If you don't vote, you don't matter. If you don't vote, you don't matter. It don't matter. Now, picture those lined slacks of those politicians. They think you're ignorant. They all think you're all ignorant. If you don't vote, you're as ignorant as they say you is. Now lift your eyes and hear with your ears. Nobody can help themselves without somebody else. You need somebody else. Two is better than one, two is better than one. Now, you have the nails, I have the hammer. You need to lend me your nails so I can hammer. I'm going to hammer away so that you can have your schools, so you can have your family, and so you can have money in your pockets. So now vote, or you don't matter. That was a little reincarnation of All the King's Men, a Columbia picture, and it's at a voters rally. It's hitting home the point that I'm trying to make. If you don't vote, you don't matter. Today I'm going to persuade you guys to vote. Pelikoff wrote a journal on American history, one vote that disputed presidency of 1876. One vote made the difference. Just one. Now, I'm going to persuade you guys to vote. First, I'm going to poll you on some statistics on voting. Second, I'm going to ballot your palate with 10 reasons why people don't vote. And lastly, I'm going to vote you away to get rid of this problem. McDonald from the United States Election Project took in a poll on how many people turn out for the presidential election. This past presidential election, only 55% of people voted. That's just over half. And Texas, only 50% of that state actually voted. That means half of this country is represented, and the other half is forgotten because they didn't vote. LWVL says that people don't vote is a big problem because when our country is based on representation, if we're not well represented, then we're not truly being represented as a people. And when our country was founded on that, we forgot it, and we have to re-emphasize that. Now that I've given you a statistic on how many people vote, I want to emphasize why people don't vote. Lady Women Voters, League of Voters, said they have 10 basic reasons why people don't vote. One, people don't like politics. It's a big, big thing. Everything in your life can be related to politics. You can break it down to, it's a science of distribution and government, but to the very least, just going to the grocery store and paying with money can be considered politics. Two, it doesn't matter. Well, if it doesn't matter, then if we go to war and your son dies, or if we change our currency and you've saved up a lot of money, or something happens to this country, it affects you on a one-on-one basis. So it does matter who you put in power and who represents you. Third, my favorite, my vote doesn't count. Well, it's been proven in history that your vote does count. The JFK election, he won by one vote in every precinct. So for everybody who didn't show up, they could have turned the tide on that vote. Texas, statehood. It became a state because of one vote. If that one person hadn't voted, or two people hadn't voted, Texas wouldn't be a state. And my favorite, the right for women to vote. It was by one vote that they got that right. So one vote does matter. There are other votes like, I don't have time to learn about the issues or the candidates. My spouse votes for me. Well, women have been fighting since 1920 in order to get that right to vote. And they're just going to give it to their husband? That's not right. I'm not registered because I don't want to serve on jury duty. Well, if you have a license, you're just as likely to go to jury duty than somebody who's registered to vote. I'm not working for change inside the system, but outside the system. Well, the system endures everything. It has a lot to do with everything. So we do have to, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Then you have, I'm working and I can't, my spouse and I disagree on everything, so now my vote doesn't count because she cancels mine out. Well, not everybody thinks like your spouse. So just because she votes one way doesn't mean everybody else isn't going to vote your way. Now that I've given you 10 reasons why people don't vote, I'm going to give you a way to change this problem. You gotta go vote. Reuben wrote, "Let the people speak." And in his article, he talked about ways to encourage voting. One way he said that on the ballots they have, it's called a ballot incentive, or the ballots for the minorities. It allows people that have a certain group of people that's over about 1,000 people, they can put something on the ballot, which allows minorities to get things changed. Whether it be gay marriage or anything that has to do with minorities, immigration, all those different little issues for the little people can be heard. And that takes just one person. Mandy Dixon, who was a well-known politician in my neighborhood, she's always going door to door during voting time, and she's punching it at people saying, you need to go vote, you need to go do this, you need to go vote. And she offers to watch kids so the parents can vote. She says that the best way in order to increase people's voting habits is to help them make time. If someone's pushing them, they're more likely to go because they don't like to be bothered. It's more an inconvenience not to vote than to vote. Now that you know how to fix the problem, you know why people don't do it, and you know that it is a problem, I want to state that I'm not a voter. I don't vote. It's not me. But after I looked at this project and I saw the numbers, I realized that I'm the problem, and I need to fix it. So I'm going to go vote, and you should go vote too. Thank you for your time.